The science fiction series Babylon 5 was an ambitious show created in the wake of the successful resurrection of the Star Trek television franchise with 1987's Star Trek The Next Generation. Concurrently, Paramount was also working on a new TV series involving a space station, Deep Space Nine, and both shows would set the standard for science fiction television in the 1990s. As a matter of fact, there was some controversy between the two shows because the creator of Babylon 5, J. Michael Straczynski, tried to sell Paramount the idea of Babylon 5 back in 1989. Both shows lasted more than 100 episodes and spawned other projects based on their success. The spin-off series Crusade, and now 7 films in the case of Babylon 5, and the continuation of the Star Trek franchise on both television and the big screen in the case of Deep Space Nine. Babylon 5 was part space opera and part Casablanca, as the humans joined with 4 other races, the Centauri, the Narn, the Minbari, and the Vorlons, to build a space station that all interstellar races could come to in order to meet friends and foes alike in neutral territory. Across the 5 seasons and 110 episodes, that dynamic was at times successful and at times failed. And through it all, the crew of the Babylon 5 space station had to try to keep it from all flying apart into general warfare. The 6 films previously made, first by TNT and the last one by Sci-Fi, expanded on the storylines. Sometimes they filled in things that happened before Babylon 5 was created or during the series' run, and some took place after the events of the show ended. I was a fan of it all. Babylon 5 was one of my go-to science fiction fixes in the 1990s, and I was sad to see the show end. While the cast changed, and I wasn't always in favor of those changes, especially the switch from Commander Sinclair to Captain Sheridan and Commander Ivanova to Captain Lockley, the writing was so good as to win me over, even if the performances were a bit rough to begin with. Bruce Boxleitner's Sheridan in particular. I was very fond of the way Michael O'Hare as Commander Sinclair held the command of Babylon 5, and was sad to see him written out, even if they did do it in a respectful and awesome manner. The series' special effects at the time were amazing, even if they look dated in today's CGI-driven Hollywood. The various aliens were created using both CGI and practical effects, and the same with the various spacecraft the show displayed. It all worked for the time the show was produced in, even if the effects for Star Trek Deep Space Nine did age better. The various stories the writers for the show came up with were enthralling, and combined both weekly themes and subplots as well as season-long arcs, something that was rare outside of soap operas at the time. The minor and major stories meshed well, keeping the story of the week in the forefront of the action while weaving the ongoing season arcs into the story. The movies stayed with that vein as well. They meshed with what the overall series did, probably because J. Michael Straczynski maintained a Bible for the series in order to keep from having to fix continuity errors. And the subjects of the movies were as enthralling as the main series. They showed everything from the origin of the idea for the Babylon Project to the destruction of Earth via biological weapons used by the disciples of the Shadows, the Drakh. It was a franchise that endeared itself to science fiction nerds worldwide, and continues to endure at conventions to this day. With the proposed CW reboot series on hold, a new animated Babylon 5 movie has been produced by Babylon 5 creator J. Michael Straczynski. Released to direct-to-video on August 14, 2023, the trailer seems to show John Sheridan 2 years after the end of the Shadow War, leaving Babylon 5 for the last time. He heads to Minbar and is at the opening of a new energy facility. Something goes wrong and he asks the technician what kind of energy they use. When the Minbari tells him it uses tachyons, his eyes widen and he has just enough time to say "oh crap" when he is shunted through time and space. What follows is Sheridan bouncing around between different times and universes, seeing the effects of some of his decisions, losses, and wins. As Zothras explains, he has become unstuck in space-time as he flashed around. One of the people he meets tells him he needs to find his way back to Babylon 5. The story sounds interesting, if a little too multiversy for my liking. The CG animation is good, if not so great as to blow my mind. And Straczynski managed to get a number of the former cast of the original series back to reprise their original roles, including Bruce Boxleitner as Sheridan, Claudia Christian as Susan Ivanova, Peter Jurasik as Lando Mollari, and Patricia Tallman as Lita Alexander. Overall, Babylon 5: The Road Home looks to have captured the spirit and feel of the old series, and its subsequent spin-off series and movies, with a story that is still intriguing, even if I am getting a little tired of multiverse contrivances from Hollywood. J. Michael Straczynski is an excellent writer, and is one of the producers of this movie, as well as the delayed reboot of the old series for the CW. While I would love to see Babylon 5 resurrected, I don't know if current-day Hollywood has the ability to do it justice. Babylon 5: The Road Home does seem to do it, and I look forward to seeing it. That is all I have for this video. If you like what I do here, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, share the video, and leave a comment or criticism below. Also, make sure you hit the bell icon to be notified of new videos. Until next time. Tschüss.